back to the Quick Save Podcast. My name is Alex.
I'm Josh.
And today we are talking about probably one of the more important things to know as a collector, I would say. And that's how to act appropriately at garage sales.
That's correct. So in the rest of our No News November series here, other than talking about Yakuza Like a Dragon, which we obviously love so much, we're going to do some talking about topics. We're calling them text-only episodes, where we're just going to talk about topics that relate to gaming, relate to collecting video games, and stuff that we think kind of the general public should know or have an idea of. Just some topics we think that the general public should know. You know, if you're just getting into gaming, collecting, stuff like that, this is going to be kind of some beginner tips on, topics like that. So today we're going to talk about garage sales and how you should hold yourself as a human being going into somebody else's place and buying their items from them directly.
Why don't we start off with our number one rule here. Be nice.
Please.
Please. Thank you.
Please. It's not hard. I know it seems like it is. It really isn't hard.
It's like one of the more simpler things to do, I feel like. You know, it's... How do you go into some place? How do you go to a stranger and just be like, I'm better than you? Immediately.
Yeah. Oh, this is cool. You're selling all this cool stuff. I want it for less money than what you have it listed at.
When I would do resales for like stuff I like had accumulated and I just wanted to like, you know, I couldn't really trade it off. I just needed to sell it, right? I would have garage sales myself and I would have people come up and be like, $35. That's almost the same price as Price Charting. It's like, yeah, but it's not.
And it's also like, that's kind of the point, right? Like,
yeah.
If online it's selling for $35 and I sell it for $35, that's right in the market value, right? Like, who can fault you for trying to get what it's worth?
I mean,
right?
The first thing you say to someone is, your prices are dumb, or like, all your prices are way too high. This needs to be lower, or otherwise I won't buy it. Guess what?
No deal for you.
No deal.
No deal for you.
You immediately become the lowest important person in line.
And if somebody comes up and they're like, hey, I was wondering if you could do a little better on this, you know, et cetera, et cetera. If they come up and they're polite about it, you might be like, sure, I'll give you $5 off or whatever, right? You know, like give them $5-10 off just because they're like a nice person. You know, obviously you want to reward the people who are being chill dudes looking at all your stuff, whatever, right? And that's kind of the concept is if you come in hot being like, I'm here for a deal, I'm going to score some stuff. And, you know, there definitely are people who make a living going to garage sales, buying stuff, flipping it, reselling it. Absolutely. But if it's not your job to do that, if your job is reselling like furniture and stuff like that, great. If your job is like you work at a bank and you're just going to a garage sale for fun, maybe we shouldn't play American Pickers on this one. And maybe we should just be like, I'm going to see what this person's selling, right?
I mean, being nice also is more than just being, like, courteous when you talk. It's, you know, respecting the items that they have out.
Don't throw stuff around. If you bring your kids with you, don't let the kids knock everything over and play with stuff.
Don't, like, just grab stuff and throw it back down. You know, it's not your stuff.
Yeah.
To do that with, you know, they're being nice. They're letting you into their space to, you know, potentially buy something from them.
Yep. And just because something's overpriced, you don't need to say that out loud, right? You know, hey, this game's $50. I can buy it online for $20. Okay. And
go buy it online then.
It's just kind of it, right? It's like if somebody's selling something and you know it's overpriced, just put it down and walk away. You don't have to, you know, start something, right? You can just be like, hey, this is a bit too much out of my price range. I'm just going to pass on it for now, right? It's okay to say that. It's okay to say no. You're not forced to buy the items, right? Like
there's been so much I've walked away from when I've gone to garage sales. I'll walk up and be like, man, that's super cool. That's a complete in box Super Nintendo game. That game's like $35 complete, and they want $100. I'm not even gonna try.
I'm good, right? Yeah, just walk away.
Absolutely not.
Turn around and walk away. Pick your battles.
You really got to pick your battles when it comes to stuff like that. You know, the biggest thing I think is that there's also polite ways of asking for things. Hey, you know, could you do a better price on this? Or what's your bottom dollar for this? Where would you be really willing to let it go?
I've seen, you know, when we've been garage sailing a handful of times, you usually ask, hey, I'm kind of a video game collector. I was wondering if you guys have any video games or anything like that.
Yeah, right? I ask all the time. If I go to a garage sale and I see no video games, the first thing I go is, do you guys have any video games that you're trying to get rid of?
Have you scored like that before?
Oh, yeah. I think the biggest one I ever had was I went to this garage sale. It's a older couple, probably like in their 50s, 60s. Just knickknacks, Avon cologne bottles.
Oh yeah,
I
all the
mean,
glory.
All the glory, right?
Forbidden memories, little cherub statues.
Yeah, there's the little pastel like dolls that are made of like ceramic and stuff.
Yep.
And like just this lady sitting on a chair next to her fan. And I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, you got a wonderful home, very beautiful home. Oh, thank you. Ah,
Real oak here.
Yeah,
oh,
real
man.
real
Wow.
oak in these beams. Knock on the side of the
Beautiful
wall.
hardwood flooring here. Is that molding original or?
You get to like, what I like to call is, smooze them up a bit. You make them feel big and important, right?
Talk. Yeah, small talk. Just trying to be nice and.
You're giving them compliments in hopes that they catch on to where you're trying to go.
It's also, potentially it's also these people's. This is their interaction for the day, right? So
yeah.
It's not just walk around, be silent, and fuck off and leave. Walk around. Hey, how's it going today? Oh yeah, I love your place. It's super beautiful. Cool stuff, right?
Yeah, you can also mention like, hey, I can tell you take care of your stuff. That's really cool. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Go to garage sales, there's junk a lot of times. No lie about that.
Yep.
But I went to them. I looked around for probably like 5 minutes just to really go through everything. And I go, hey, do you have anything that is like video games? Anything like that? And like, well, I think our son had one when he was young, and now he's off with his own kids. And I go, oh, you had kids, wonderful. Well, I'd be willing to take a look at it if you want to get rid of it. And they go, okay, hold on. Walk out into like the basement or something. It's like 10 minutes I'm waiting for this lady. I'm like, she
gone.
Okay?
She's just gone. She just never came back.
She went and got dinner.
Oh, sorry, you're still waiting?
But she came back and she's like, well, I don't know what it is, but do you still want to look at it? I'm like, sure. Like, I've been waiting 10 minutes. Why not? Right? And she pulls out a complete in box in television. And I was just like, what?
Insane.
Like, for a lot of people, Intellivision means nothing to them. It's some bygone, system.
It's old, old
82
80s,
or something like that?
Old 80s console.
85? I have no idea. It's somewhere in there.
Around the Atari kind of time.
Yeah, it was, I think it's around the Atari 5200 time frame. But, like, what was the last time you saw one?
Yeah, there are probably plenty of people who have probably never seen one.
And it's just like, sometimes you don't get the scores you want. Sometimes you just get the scores you deserve.
Right.
And, like, I was like, how much do you want for it? And she's like, I don't know, $10. And I was like...
Here's the $10. Have a good rest of your day.
Goodbye.
Yeah, have a good one.
So now I have a complete unboxing television. It's missing some stuff. It was definitely used by kids, and I've been slowly rebuilding on it. But all it takes, you walk into a garage sale, you go, hi, how are you? How's your day? Comment on the weather. Oh, you got a beautiful house. Oh, you got a bunch of good stuff I can see. Don't see any video games? Hey, you got them video games. And you'd be surprised the results you will get.
So you heard it here from Alex first. Walk in, schmooze them up. Oh, that cologne you're wearing, is that Aqua Velva? Oh, it smells amazing.
Are you wearing Tommy Hilfiger?
Oh,
excellent
very
choice.
Very in season this year. Yes. Drinking Budweiser. Yes, the king of beers. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Doesn't get better than that.
Can't go up from there.
Exactly. Schmooze them up, and maybe you'll be surprised. Yeah. So let's move on to tip number 2. Be generous. This is becoming less of a list about garage sales and more of a list of like a guidance counselor would tell you. In middle school, they'd be like, "This is how you should be nice to people." So be generous. Let's say you find a deal. Somebody, much like Alex found, right? So
yeah, I was at a garage sale, and I was just
gonna talk about the Intellivision again.
No, here I got a better example. I was at another garage sale, and I was looking around, and I looked down at like this DVD selection, and I saw Godzilla on PS4, and it had a sticker on it for $10.
Which is like, how much is that game?
I think it's like 180 loose.
Great.
The first thing I did is I went up there and was like, hey, can you do better than $10? Absolutely not. I was like, I will gladly take this for 10 and not say another word.
Yeah, you're not gonna be like, 10's a little high. Yeah, you're getting an amazing deal here, right?
But within that, the dude had tons of games. He had like complete N64 stuff. I bought a ton from him, and I actually ended up paying him more than what he was originally asking for. Because there was just, he was giving away stuff, man. It was insane.
And that's the main kind of pull away here is if you find a game that's $5 and it's like a $500 game, you might be like, oh hey, you're a little low on this. I'll pay you 10 to be nice, right? And you can work that into deals and say like, you're gonna buy this game, you're getting a steal on, it's $5. You want to buy these 3 other things. You say, all right, well, together it's gonna be $75. You could say like, hey, you're selling this, it's gonna be a little low. I'm gonna give you a little extra on this if you can give me a deal on these items or something like this.
Yep.
Like you're selling it a little low. I'd be willing to pay you an extra $10 if you want to give me $20 off on that stuff or whatever, right? So you can definitely work that into deals. Yeah, you always want the seller to be happy, right? If you ruin that bond with the seller and you're like a dick and you're like, oh, this is too low, they're going to be like, I'm not going to give you a deal, like we just mentioned, right? So you want to kind of keep that relationship on the up and up. You don't want to be rude about something or come off rude on something like that.
Now, generosity is very similar to being kind, but it's also very different.
Yeah, it shows itself in a different way. So like if let's say it's $100 game, somebody's selling it for $50. Buy it for $50. Don't, much like Alex had with the Godzilla, it's, if you're getting such a huge deal on something like that, I just had something like that today where like I bought an item for $50. It's easily worth double that. I'm not going to be like, oh, $50 is a little high, right? It's just kind of,
Can you do 35?
Yeah, take what you're given, right? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And, if you see a deal and it's something you want and are willing to spend the money on, take the deal and run.
Other ways to look generosity at garage sales is maybe they're struggling with like maybe the table's like really messy and they're really trying to clean it up fast. Help them out. Take the extra 10 minutes just to help them do something. I've done that a ton where like, oh, my dog got loose and I go and I'll get their dog for them. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. That's a little more on the drastic side, but like, I helped them reset a table or something. Or I helped them set up even.
Yeah, if they're like...
And they're so happy that people will do that for them.
Yeah, there's a ton of clothes and everybody threw the clothes on the thing. Well, you just hang the clothes back up on the hanger or what, you just put stuff, organize it, put it where it's supposed to go. Yeah, you're helping these people out a ton in little ways like that. And it's stuff like that does get noticed, right? But let's move on to our number 3 tip. This is probably...
this is my favorite one.
Yeah, this one's definitely up there. It is buy in bulk. You walk up to a bin of loose DS games. They're $2 a piece. No big hitters, nothing super insane. The value is super discounted. They don't have cases. They don't have instructions, just loose DS games. But there's 25 games, so it'd be $50 for this bin. 25 games, $50. That's really the perfect time to say, like, hey, I'll take the whole bin for $30. Something like that.
Especially if you're trying to resell stuff like I do sometimes, buying in bulk is your best friend. Because I've gone to places and they have like a gaming table set up. And I'll look at the table and I go, I pretty much want all that. And I turn around, I go to them, I go, how much do you want for everything on the table? Mm-hmm. Give me a price. Sometimes people are like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, what if I just buy all this anyways separately? And they're like, oh, I see what you're trying to get at. And I go, yeah, it's kind of like that.
Right.
Or, they'll look at it and they go, wow, you're willing to buy all that? And I go, yeah. And they're like, they throw out a number. I usually add up the stuff so I know like where they're trying to get a range at.
What the maximum total of it is if you bought it separate.
If there's a table of $500 that they priced out individually for all these things, and I go, hey, how much do you want for the whole table? And they go, I don't know, $350. I go, yeah, I'll take that.
Deal, right? Yeah, and that's just kind of it, right? So it's like going to that example, right? So it's table 500, you buy it for $350. You're saving a ton of money, obviously, but a lot of times, especially depending on who you're dealing with, sometimes people just want that stuff gone, right? Like
I've also had that happen.
Yeah, like our biggest collector in town, who we're both friends with, that's what he does. He goes to garage sales, and it doesn't matter if it's loose garbage, $3 Game Boy Advance games, horses with a Z on the Game Boy Advance. He'll buy that stuff all day for cheap. He'll say, how much for the whole bin, right? Like he'll take it all, put it in a pile, come in on a like trade-in week or whatever where we're offering extra for trade-ins, just drop off bins and bins. He'll be like, yeah, I know it's going to take forever. Take your time. I'm not in a rush. So it is the perfect kind of thing to like, yeah, if you're definitely looking to resell or in the market to like hold on to stuff, or if you just want to build a collection in bulk, an easy way to get items is garage sailing and just walking up to people and saying like, how much for the whole bin? Because like I said, a lot of people, if you're dealing with like an older couple, empty nesters, stuff like that, their kids left, moved to college, have their own families now. If it's just sitting around, these people they want it out of their house, right? That's the whole reason they're selling it.
I had some mom bring me, or like go in her house and come out with like a stack of N64 manuals. And I'm like, yeah, I'll buy your paper. And she's like, you'll actually pay me money for this? I'm like, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you start buying in bulk, you have to kind of pick and choose your battles again here.
Yeah.
Am I just trying to get value from this, or am I trying to...
Is there something you want?
Obtain something more in the long run?
Yep.
Because, the big collector in town that we know here, he's done this so much that he has manuals for anything you can think of.
Yep.
I mean, I go to him and I'm like, do you have this Sega Game Gear game manual or like box or anything? And he's like, oh, I'll go check. And like, he'll give back to me like a day later and he goes, yeah, I got all that. What do you want to trade?
Yeah, insane.
I recently picked up from the store Zelda: A Link to the Past. It didn't have a manual. Didn't have it. Didn't have the inserts as well. That's a big thing for people that didn't have the inserts. I messaged him. He was like, oh, I know I for sure have that. And I did a big trade with him. Just for a manual and the inserts. Because, I don't know where else I'm going to find that.
Right. He's pretty much the contact.
Yeah, he's the guy that I go to when I need stuff.
Yeah. And this is another part about kind of bundling to save here, much like Progressive. Today's episode sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Use the bundle tool to save on your Progressive Insurance. Not really, I wish. But if Flo's out there, get in contact with me. We'd love to have a sponsor. Is to use, if you walk up to that bin of $50 DS games, you can use that as a deal sweetener. And you can say, there's some $70 N64 game you want, and you want to buy the DS stuff too. Okay, well, now you're putting $120. Okay. So you can say, hey, I want this $70 game. 70 is a bit high and out of my price range, but I saw you have that bin of DS games over there, all those loose DS games that are sitting around. Would you be willing to do a deal and do $90 for both of it? So that way, you can look at it as like you got this game for $45 and you're paying $45 for the DS games, or, regardless, however you split it, you're saving, $30 or whatever, right? So you can use stuff like that as a deal, like, hey, I want this expensive thing you have, but it's a little too expensive, but I have interest in your whole big pile of stuff. If I buy that pile of stuff, can you do a better price on this game? Right?
I talk about a bunch of my experiences so far of like, yeah, I've gone here, I've had this lady bring this out, or I've had some guy bring me this. I have been actively garage sailing for my collection for probably going on, probably 10 years now. Like, I have been out there every summer for 4 or 5 months, however long we can get garage sales for. Sometimes there's even ones in the winter up here, which is crazy.
Yeah, they do like some of the stadiums. I think we went to the one. Maybe you didn't come with me. The one at the hockey rink.
Yep, there's like they do it like just crazy. Like they'll just have like these big sales.
Flea markets and garage sales and you name it.
In churches. Oh my gosh, churches,
estate sales, and you name it. Yeah.
Like, there's so much out there, but, like, I've been going to every one that I possibly can on the weekends for almost 10 years now, and, I've taken time to really kind of craft a way to, befriend people really quickly and get in on their good side.
Yeah, they're going to remember you.
And so that way they do.
That's that guy who bought all my 200 disc-only DS games in that bin that one time.
And the other thing I do is I leave people my number.
Yeah, well, actually, let's get to our next point. Why don't you talk a little bit about our next point?
Well, here's my number because I want to start networking.
Point number 4: get to know people. If they will remember you. If you say, hey, do you have any, you do the Alex method and you say, hey, do you have any video games? They say, oh, I might have some stuff. Let me go take a look. They bring out a bin of stuff. You buy it all. Their buddy Terry down the street. Terry's like, I got all these video games sitting around. Oh, man. Okay, well, actually, I know this guy. He left me his number. He bought all my video games last time. Let me call him up, send him some photos, and now you've got people hooking you up, right? If you leave your number and you get to know these people and you really help them out, they're more likely to remember you and more likely to mention you or give out your number or text you if their friend or their coworker or whoever has more video games. If people know what you're looking for, they can help you find the stuff you need. You can craft a kind of network out of this stuff, right? And that's super important because that's, at the end of the day, that's what a garage sale is about. It's kind of about getting to know the people in your community. It's not just like, I want your crap. Boom, here's $20. See ya, done, right?
It's also like you get to know what part of town has like things like people.
Yep.
You know, oh, this is a new development. People haven't been living there that long. There's not a ton accumulated.
Yep.
I'll probably find newer stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, oh, hey, downtown area, people have been living there for 50 years.
Yep.
They probably have like an Atari or something.
Yeah, like a ton of stuff. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, sometimes people have stuff they want to sell, but they haven't priced it, they haven't looked at it, they're not sure. If you ask, or at least mention that you have interest in stuff like that, they're gonna mention stuff to you. The worst that you can do and the worst that they can do is say, no, I don't. I have video game stuff, but I don't really want to sell it right now. Or if they say, hey, I have this thing, do you want it? You can say, oh, thank you for thinking of me. I'm not super interested in that. If Alex walked into a place and they were like, hey, do you have any video games? He's like, I've got an old Pac-Man arcade cabinet. Alex would probably be like, I'm good, thanks though. I buy
that right there.
I already have a Neo Geo cabinet that I can play whatever I want on. So where would you put a Pac-Man cabinet?
Oh, I would
on the street corner. Charge people $0.25 to play.
I would bring it to my work's break room and charge.
That'd be pretty legit. I've been thinking about buying a soda machine and just putting it at work and stocking it myself and charging my company to pay me for the soda machine. It doesn't even have to be that. I would literally just take the profits from the soda machine. They don't need to pay me anything for me to put it there and plug it in.
But a great way also to network here, tying us back in again, is get to know your local collectors. So there's one other guy in town that's like me that collects kind of everything.
We talking about the same guy still?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
He collects kind of everything. He gave me the wonderful nickname of the Vacuum because he's like, there's finally another person like me who just sucks up all the junk.
I still have people who still ask me. I was like, oh yeah, I was hanging out with Alex. And they're like, does he still kind of buy everything? I'm like, yeah, kind of. He does still, less, but yeah, he still kind of does buy everything.
Look, man, stuff's cool. I really just want the stuff.
Dude, that's why you and I are friends. Amen. Stuff is cool. But capitalism's got us in a lock, buddy. We're never getting out.
Capitalism really popped off today.
Yeah, stuff is cool. You're right, man. Stuff is cool.
But like, I know the Vita guy in town who does PlayStation Vita stuff. I know the guy who does Sega stuff in town. I think I'm a Sega person. This guy puts me to shame. This dude has like the entire Saturn collection, Sega CD collection. I think the only thing he really doesn't collect is like the cartridges. He does like all the disc and stuff. But he's like Dreamcast. I'm like, dang,
it's not even that. They're both kind of Sony guys too. Dude, he knows the Sega guy that you're talking about. He knows some crazy contacts. I've spoken with him about the people that he knows and speaks to about getting some of this stuff. I mean, he's talking to like ex-employees who are selling like their awards that they won at work working for Sony, stuff like that. Like insane. He's like, yeah, I spoke to this person and, I have a budget with this person and I give them this much and they just send stuff my way every couple months with, this is my budget. I'm like, that's like insane. You understand what you're telling me is like something that normal people have never even thought or heard about. Like,
I mean, you get in good with those types of people that know someone else and they know someone else who might be really crazy high up there.
Yeah.
And you get crazy stuff. There's stuff in the game room here that you still point out to me and going, holy crap, you got that.
Yeah,
I do.
Sometimes you move stuff around and uncover stuff. I'm like, I didn't know you had this. You're like, yeah, I do. I think you would pull that. You have Caution Seaman, right? With the microphone and everything. Yep. I was like, I didn't know you had that. And you're like, yeah, I do. I'm like, what? That's insane.
I have a bookcase that's kind of like in the corner behind the closet wall. And like, I have people come over and they're like, holy crap, that's a Virtual Boy on top. And I go, yeah, it is.
That's why I love bringing guests over. Because every time the guests are like, holy crap. It's like we spend some time playing something, we spend some time recording, and then we spend the majority of the time the guest is looking at your wall of games being like, holy crap. And you're like, yeah, that's not even all of it. Turn around. And they're like, whoa. And then you're like, see this cabinet? They're like, yeah. You're like, that's all sealed games. Like, just like insanity.
Yeah, I probably got a couple hundred sealed games, honestly. It's
You
getting,
never, you never
it's
know.
getting out of hand, man.
You never know, man.
Gonna start doing the thing that Reggie and Metal Jesus do, where they crack the seal. I don't know if I would have the heart to do that on some of these.
Okay, let's bring it back to garage sales, huh? So let's talk about why garage sailing is an important skill to have. Going to these garage sales is a great way to find games or systems for discounted prices. It's going to be better than a pawn shop. It's going to be better than a local retro game store. And often you have the added bonus of meeting local people in your community who are sometimes nice, sometimes stay away. Mainly you get to meet these folks, introduce yourself, start networking. So yeah, we believe it's an important skill and that folks should really think about getting out there and finding deals.
It's important, guys. You know why I know it's important? Because I met a good friend through garage sailing. We got to know each other. I know his wife. I
And that man,
hang out with his children.
that
That man's Mario Alex. He's already been on the show.
I was going to say Reggie Fils-Aimé,
No.
former president of Nintendo of America.
It's actually the president of Nintendo, Bowser.
Doug Bowser?
Doug Bowser?
Doug Bowser?
No.
I met him at a
Nah.
garage sale.
Mario Alex has already been on the episode. I met him through a garage sale because he was going around. He had this box of Atari stuff. He was like, I'll trade this to you for like 2 GameCube games. He's just going around to people doing that. Dude was crazy. I love it so much. He ended up trading me literally a bundle, like a huge bundle of Atari like manuals for an N64 power supply.
Perfect.
I was like, perfect deal, man. I don't need this extra one. You want it. I want those. Done.
Done. Easy.
But yeah, no, having the skill to garage sale and do it well so that people remember you, they like you, they're going to tell others about you. If you're trying to go for like a big collection, if you're trying to, if you want to be like me and try to collect everything, if you want to go after one system, you got to really put yourself out there.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to buy duplicates, when you're buying like, oh, I'm going to buy your bin of stuff, right? Sometimes you don't want to buy the whole bin. Sometimes you only want it for a couple games or some stuff like that. But if you buy the whole thing, they're going to remember you. They're going to be like, that's the guy who bought my whole bin. Stands out. Like I said, usually you're helping them. They're like, I want this stuff gone.
Not only that, but like, let's say you're only buying original Xbox stuff. You buy a bin of original Xbox, you only need 1 game. You start selling the other original Xbox games.
Yeah, you can recoup your costs, absolutely.
Not only that, but people are like, he only buys and sells original Xbox. They're going to remember you because maybe A, they have a game for you, but B, maybe they're going to start like buying stuff from you too. They're like, oh man, I need original Xbox. I know the guy that's to go for that.
Yep.
It's kind of funny. Like I think I'm most known in our community for like being the other Sega guy in town.
Yeah.
Because like I think it's literally like me and
It's pretty
the
much
main
2
Sega
guys.
collector.
Pretty much 2 guys in town, yeah.
But then like people are like, oh, you buy everything else. I go, yeah, I do. And they'll show me random stuff.
Yeah.
The district manager for the store texted me 10 o'clock at night. He goes, I got weird stuff I know you wanted.
Yeah. He's visiting one of the stores.
Yeah.
So he's texting you.
Networking has crazy power, you know, and we'll save those fun stories for our next episode.
Yeah. We're going to do, our next episode is going to be so it'll be next week. And that will be talking about kind of what to expect from your local retro game store and what that looks like.
Good old brick and mortars.
Good old brick and mortars. Yeah, what that looks like. How trades are going to work. How it's all going to work. Yeah, that'll be fun. We kind of chose, this was something you have a lot more experience with. I've been garage selling with you a couple times. I go a little bit when I can.
You always have a great time watching me. I remember you telling me that. You're like,
yeah.
I don't know how you do it, but you do it. And I go, I just go up there, man. I just go for it.
It's funny to watch you like work your magic on a garage sale, and the whole process is really fun to watch. But yeah, so then next episode will be something obviously more my forte of what to expect from my local retro video game store because I work at one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun episode.
I'm gonna complain about work so much. No, I'm gonna try not to do that. But I do have personal biases.
Yeah,
so.
we have a unique situation where I have great customer insight for when you get to know the people and they get to like you.
I have great employer insight into becoming friends with people and also telling people to get out of your store and never return. Just kidding. I don't do that unless you're Alex.
Twice.
In which I tell him to get out multiple times. So please leave a comment below. We want to hear from you.
Give us a subscribe.
Give us a subscribe. Let us know your tips for garage sailing. You found luck with one strategy?
Do you think I'm crazy telling you to schmooze up people?
Have you met anyone who's a long-lasting friend or even lover at a garage
Have
sale?
you found the love of your life at a garage sale?
Did you get married at a
And
garage
was she
sale?
76 years old?
Did you get married to someone like double your age at a garage sale?
Let us know. All of that and more.
Oh, you want some video games, huh? You're looking pretty hot today.
Oh, it's getting hot in here.
Oh, Janice, you shouldn't have. Oh my goodness. Dolores, your video game collection is astounding.
I can tell you've used the good denture glue today.
Is that what is it? Is that Bengay I smell? your cologne smells amazing, or is that just Bengay? Yeah. Anyways, garage sales. It's been a great time. Like I said, leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what your garage sailing experience has been. Do you have any garage sales? Do you have garages where you live? Maybe you don't. Maybe you live in Canada. They don't call them garages. They call them something funny like the car house. Don't you know?
Or maybe you say garage wrong and you say garage.
Oh yeah. Do you think they call them garage sales in England? Or you think they call them like winkly dinkle sales? Governor,
knick-knack sale, maybe? I could see him call them knick-knack sales.
Oh, Governor, you got any knickknacks in your knick-knack sale?
You got any knick-knacks in your knick-knack house?
I've got this commemorative plate of Jeff Gordon from the American NASCAR series. It's worth about 45 British sterling pounds.
Jeez, okay.
It's a very expensive commemorative plate.
Yeah.
Also, it's England. They don't have NASCAR there, so that drives the value up way more. But yeah, that's going to be it for us here.
We've been the Quick Save Podcast.
I'm Josh.
I'm Alex.
And good night, garage sailors. Good night.
Alien slime, drink it all the time.
That's an ending for each ep. Alien slime, drink it all the time.